The Tower of Babel, the true story according to the Bible. One language, one people. Genesis 11:1-2.
Welcome to Bible Stories Dramatized. Your top choice YouTube channel for epic and timeless Bible stories just as they happened. Before you continue watching, please subscribe to this YouTube channel, like this video, share, and turn on the notification bell for more. Thank you. Happy watching.
Long after the flood, when the waters had gone, and the earth had dried, humanity began to grow again. People were multiplying and spreading, just as God had told them. But in the beginning, they were still united in one way that was powerful. They all spoke the same language. They all used the same words. Can you imagine that? No barriers. No translations. No misunderstandings or cultural divides. Just one language. One voice. One people. At first glance, it sounds like a perfect world. But something was brewing beneath that unity. As people moved eastward, they discovered a wide, open land. It was called the Plain of Shinar. It was flat, fertile, perfect for building. So, they decided to settle there. Not just to stay a while, but to make it home. They paused their movement across the earth, stopped their spreading, and said to one another, "Come, let us make bricks and bake them thoroughly." They used brick instead of stone, and tar for mortar. Genesis 11:2-3. And then, the dream was spoken aloud. They said, "Come, let us build ourselves a city, with a tower that reaches to the heavens, so that we may make a name for ourselves, otherwise, we will be scattered over the face of the whole earth." Genesis 11:4. Did you hear that? It wasn't just about shelter. It wasn't about survival. It was about reputation, control, fear of being scattered. But wasn't scattering what God had told them to do? Didn't He say, "Be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth"? Instead, they choose their own way. They said, "Let us make a name for ourselves." It was the first time since the flood that man began to build without God. They wanted a city. They wanted a tower. They wanted to reach heaven, without needing heaven's help. And still today, how many towers are we building? Towers of pride. Towers of self. Towers of security. Without God.
God comes down. Genesis 11:5-9. The tower was rising. Day after day, brick after brick, man's dream took shape. A city. A monument. A tower meant to reach into the heavens. To the people, it was a symbol of greatness. But to God, it was something else entirely. But the Lord came down to see the city and the tower the people were building. Genesis 11:5. God came down. Not because He couldn't see it from heaven, but because what was happening on earth had spiritual weight. The people were not just building with bricks. They were building without God. Building for self-glory, not His. And so, the Lord looked at what they had done and said, "If as one people speaking the same language they have begun to do this, then nothing they plan to do will be impossible for them." Genesis 11:6. Think about that. God wasn't afraid of their tower. He wasn't threatened by their height. He saw the danger of their unity when it was used to rebel. They had one language, one voice, one goal. But the goal was to replace dependence on God with the pride of men. And so God, in His mercy, took action, not to destroy them, but to stop them from destroying themselves. "Come, let us go down and confuse their language so they will not understand each other." Genesis 11:7. Suddenly, the words they spoke no longer made sense. Bricklayers couldn't understand the engineers. Families couldn't understand neighbors. The city was filled with confusion. Imagine the moment, you speak, but the person beside you looks confused. You shout, but your friend responds in strange sounds. A worker hands you a brick, but you asked for water. The work stopped. The building halted. The dream shattered. Because the one thing they depended on, one language, was gone. So the Lord scattered them from there over all the earth, and they stopped building the city. That is why it was called Babel, because there the Lord confused the language of the whole world. From there the Lord scattered them over the face of the whole earth. Genesis 11:8-9. Babel, a place meant to glorify man, became a symbol of confusion on all. A tower that was meant to reach heaven never touched the sky. And a people who wanted to stay in one place were scattered by the hand of God. But even in judgment, there was grace. God didn't destroy them. He simply redirected them back toward his original plan, to fill the earth. Lesson from the Tower of Babel. The story of the Tower of Babel is a powerful reminder of the dangers of pride and self-reliance. The people of Babel tried to build something that reached the heavens, not for God's glory, but for their own. They wanted to make a name for themselves, to build security and power without God. In doing so, they ignored God's command to spread across the earth. Instead of depending on God and his plan, they chose to rely on their own strength and unity. But when they forgot God, he stepped in, not with anger, but with mercy, to stop them from self-destructing. The Bible tells us that nothing is impossible for people when they are united in purpose. But the question we must ask ourselves is, what is our purpose? Are we building for God's glory, or are we building our own kingdoms? Are we following God's plan for our lives, or are we pursuing our own? Are we united for a good purpose, or are we simply seeking to make a name for ourselves? The Tower of Babel shows us the danger of pride and the importance of aligning ourselves with God's will. Now, if you've been inspired by the story of the Tower of Babel, don't let the lesson stop here. Reflect on your own life. Are you building something with God, or are you trying to go it alone? If you found this story powerful, like this video, share it with others, and subscribe for more stories that teach us valuable lessons about faith, pride, and the will of God. Comment below, what part of the story impacted you the most? Let's discuss how we can avoid building our own towers and instead focus on what God wants for our lives. Thank you for watching, and remember, stay humble, seek God's purpose, and keep building for his glory. Until next time. Please, before you leave, like the video and subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so yet, please.
Thank you for watching this great Bible story dramatized. We want to hear your opinions, questions and thoughts in the comments section. Before you leave, please help us subscribe to this YouTube channel, like this video, share to others, and turn on the notification bell for more contents. Please. Thank you.